What is it about multiplayer games? And no, we don't mean what is it about the genre that attracts so many developers, but what is it about multiplayer games that can cause us players to do things ranging from the bizarre to the downright evil? Whatever the deeper cosmic reason may be, let's take a look at the 15 things that we just can't resist doing in multiplayer games. Friendly fire. We can't really resist doing this in single-player games either, but sometimes we just really have to know. Can our teammates go down in a cursing mess after too many bullets? Will the game boot you for it? Will your teammates boot you for it? You can also suffer a penalty to money, which is bad, or be killed in the next round and not play, which, hey, free carry. Kill stealing. Eliminations are the in thing these days, where everyone gets credit for a kill if they put some damage on a target, see Overwatch or Destiny 2. However, plenty of games are still very much about getting the final blow and kill credit. To that end, stealing kills while your teammate did all of the hard work remains a guilty pleasure. It's essentially a free kill. What's not to like, aside from the rampant hate? Camping. Since time immemorial, campers have existed. They may have taken that railgun in Quake 3 and sniped you across the map from the same position multiple times. In today's games, they may just hide around the same corner or hold down the same area and, well, kill you multiple times. Camping just works, except when it doesn't, which is usually when it's time for aping. You don't necessarily have to ape when camping fails, it's just one of the more brainless options available when playing a multiplayer shooter. Simply hold down the W key or press forward on the joystick, maybe equip a shotgun, forsake all notion of strategy or teamwork, and rack up the kills. It's hilarious how effective it can be sometimes, especially in games like Destiny. Rage quitting. Listen, we get it. We've all been in situations in Dota 2 where your teammates run it down mid, or even in Overwatch when everyone fails to group up. We've had those fighting game matches where someone knocks you out of the ring too many times with Nightmare. Sometimes you just need to quit in a fit of anger, swearing you'll never come back before inevitably booting the game up the next day. Just remember to take deep breaths every time. Throwing. Of course, sometimes we are those guys running it down mid or feeding our brains out. This also ties in with the rage quitting part, but without actually quitting. Instead, one is so fed up at the lack of teamwork that they throw the game relentlessly. This is not advised, mind you, and even if you feel the need to wall in teammates in Overwatch because you're losing, try to resist. It doesn't end well. Screen peeking. Back in the days of split-screen multiplayer, one of the more notorious ways to gain an advantage was to look at the other player's point of view. Technically a form of screen peeking, which could happen during LAN parties in Quake, it was incredibly easy in games like GoldenEye 007. You'd even unintentionally peek since an entire half or quarter of the screen was occupied. Of course, when the other person is also screen peeking, it can lead to some hilarious standoffs. Hogging power weapons and heavy ammo. Memorizing the location and spawn times of power weapons and heavy ammo in games like Halo and Destiny is important, but sometimes one can hog these a bit too much. It can even be more annoying when someone is constantly taking the rocket launcher in Halo and killing themselves with it. Destiny 2 has changed how power ammo works, allowing multiple teammates to grab some when one pulls it. Still, if you're not on the ball, it's easy to miss power ammo because an overzealous teammate needed it first. Just one more match. There are some games you don't quite rage quit, even if the enemy team effortlessly set a record for finishing Havana on attack while your team just discovered their opposable thumbs. You try again because, heck, if you're ending the night on a loss. And when you do get that elusive win, whether it be hard-earned or not, it's time for another. Call it the sweet taste of victory, but you just have to experience it again. And if you lose, well, go again, as they say. Angry accusations of cheating. Have you ever had that feeling that an opponent's tracking is just a little too good? That their headshot accuracy is a little too on point? You've probably thought these things in a fit of rage, and even when going back to look at the kill cam, it's hard to believe that someone could possibly kill you. Maybe you were out of position, maybe they're just that good, or maybe, just maybe, they're cheating. There are many doors to the answer, and raging at your death is often the first. Bunny hopping. Call it a hang-up from the days of Quake, but bunny hopping will never die. Back then, strafe jumping was the real deal, as it gave you increased movement speed and control. However, in Overwatch, you're just jumping continuously, which might even get you killed against more skilled opponents since your movement path becomes more predictable. Head glitching. Sniper duels can be fun and all, but why fight honorably when you could just head glitch to victory? The term refers to positioning behind cover to the point where your body is completely covered to an opponent's eyes. However, from your perspective, you're only covered to the waist. This allows for pulling off snipes without fear of retaliation and can be super annoying to deal with in just about any FPS. Complaints about lag and matchmaking. Sometimes it's hard to admit that you're performing poorly during a match. Other times, when the latency becomes too heavy or matchmaking screws you over with teammates that could be mistaken for the Rugrats, you tend to blame them for all of your failings. It's a tenuous relationship, and knowing to be okay with terrible lag and/or teammates is key. Now, when you're matched against a team of wannabe pros while being forced to carry noobs and suffer lag, well, that's a different story entirely. Meta complaints. Of course, sometimes, irrespective of whether you die by it or not, you're just sick of the meta. This leads to a call of nerfs, aka balancing. Goats in Double Barrier in Overwatch, nerf it. Yasuo in League of Legends, freaking nerf him into the earth. You could even be sick of certain weapons being overpowered in PvE for Destiny 2 and want those to be nerfed. Yes, that's a thing. Whether it's out of boredom or just from hating a hero or weapon, the complaints are never ending. Camo challenges. Microtransactions and battle passes may be the thing for earning a weapon camo or cosmetic, but there are still plenty of challenges that demand more than just XP or money. For example, for earning gold camos, you had to complete a series of challenges, which varied based on weapon type. Earning hundreds of headshots, one-shot kills with snipers, and so on would eventually unlock the final set of challenges, and soon that coveted gold camo. But wait, if you want the diamond camos, then be prepared to unlock gold camos for every weapon in a category. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.